How do you say your last name, by the way?
Cobian.
Cobian?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody listening, welcome to the Art of Human podcast. We have Melissa Cobian. She's a really special guest. I met her on a birthday trip. It was my cousin's birthday. We went to Rosarito, Baja California, and that's where I met Melissa, and we got to spend a couple of days together with a group of other friends. And I really bonded with her, and I just felt like a certain connection with her. I just felt like she was a very chill person, just very laid back, and just, I don't know, humble and just kind. I guess that's the way I'd describe it. And so I guess that probably inspired me to invite her to come on the podcast. And so, hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Melissa, if you want to just tell me and the listeners just a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Melissa Cobian, and I'm 24. I'm a ballet instructor and an aspiring attorney.
Aspiring what?
Attorney.
Oh, shit. I did not know that.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing ballet dancing?
I've been doing ballet for 21 years now.
Holy shit. Dude, I'm not
Yeah.
kidding. That shit just hit me. What the fuck? 21 years? You're
Yeah.
24. So you've been doing this since you were
I'm.
3?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. So
I know.
like
I know.
was one of your parents like a ballet person, or like how does that happen?
So, yeah, in a sense, I suppose so. So my mom did ballet when she was younger, and she only did it about for like 2 or 3 years. But she had me, and to be honest with you, I wasn't supposed to do ballet. I did a tap class first, and for whatever reason, I guess I didn't like it. But I did a ballet class, and I guess I just kept asking to go back.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. And so after 21 years of doing it, do you still feel the same way, or how has that journey been for you?
Um. Well, I mean, I love ballet. I love dancing. I love expression itself. But I think more specifically than anything, it has not been easy because ballet is not easy at all. But it's my passion. I love it. So I never get tired of it. I love sharing that passion with others, and I love teaching.
Huh, okay. How long have you been teaching? 'Cause I know you teach.
I've been teaching on my own for about the last 6 years.
Okay, and is it like your own business, or how does that work?
So I'm kind of like an independent contractor. So like I get to kind of pick and choose who I get to work for. So it's
Okay.
kind of fun.
Yeah, that's super awesome. Like, so you've been doing independent contract work for, you said 6 years?
Yeah, just about.
Wow, so that means since you were in high school then, right? Or
Yeah,
just
just
about when you graduated? Dude,
exactly.
that's like goals right there, like being an independent contractor, just being what would you call it? Like a freelance or whatever you want to call it? Like just
Yeah,
working
kind
for
of.
yourself. Because I feel
Yeah.
like it's like a certain level of freedom. That's at least what I'm striving for, you know?
Yeah,
Does
absolutely.
that,
It's beautiful.
do you think you could go and like, I don't know how much work experience you have like for other companies or businesses, but like, have you worked for other people?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in the sense of me being able to choose, like pick and choose what jobs I want, I'm able to decide who I want to work for. So, it's more like I I kind of go in, do an interview, they offer me a contract or they offer me XYZ
Um,
classes, and then I get to decide whether or not I take them or not. A lot of the times when I was younger, I'd just take anything that would come to me. So, it was nice, but now I'm getting a little older. I'm getting a little more experienced in the sense of like everything's getting better with time. So I get to be a little more picky now.
okay. How do you manage something like that? Like being an independent, like how do you manage it? Because I feel like, at least from my experience, because I've been becoming like more and more independent, like as time goes on. But like when you're independent, it's like you have to build your own schedule. You have to reach out, like you have to do all that background work. Versus if you work for a business, it's like, all right, show up at this time. You have to do this, and like then you're out of here. Like, how do you keep yourself in a good rhythm, or like do you schedule your week, or how do you do that?
So typically I do a little bit of both. So I do allow myself to work for other people so that I meet more people and I like to teach in different areas and different areas and for different people, just because it's the experience of it, and I like to meet different, like, to be completely honest, different human beings, and because people are what they are, of a product of their environment, like to have different environments. But at the same time, I am building my own clientele and building my own students at the same time. So in being able to work for someone else, it allows me to make the connections with people, and then if they like me enough, I'm hoping to open my dance studio one day. So hopefully they'll come with me too.
And let me know when that happens, because I'll be there.
Yeah.
um what does Melissa do like outside of ballet? Like, I mean, what does Melissa like to do? Or who is Melissa as a human? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what are some things that kind of define you as a person?
um, what kind of things define me as a person? Um, Honestly, I like to think of myself as just like free flowing, fluid in the sense of like, just I'm willing to do just about anything once, just to try
Ah,
it, just to
okay.
say it. And I feel like I'm not, what do I do outside of ballet? I mean, I do a lot outside of ballet. I like to, I mean, hobby wise, I like to skate, I like to paint, I like to read a lot. I love reading. And I like to stretch. I do yoga. I like to
Yeah,
be mindful of myself.
okay. And for those listening, when I was on that trip with her, she did a morning ritual where she would stretch for like what, like 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's super duper flexible, like crazy flexible.
Yeah. I stretch
How,
every day.
like, how did you get, like, because you said you're free, and I would agree with that, even with the brief time that I spent with you. How did you like develop that kind of mindset, or how did you liberate yourself to be able to play so many different roles? Because, like, sometimes I feel like we define ourselves as a particular thing, and then we just kind of play that role. But like you said, you paint, you read, you skate, you do ballet. Like, I don't, how'd you get that mindset? Have you always had it, or have you slowly been able to develop that?
I definitely have not always had it. I
Okay.
think that within society, you start to build a perspective of yourself as to where you feel like, again, how you had said, you can go. It's so easy to go into one of your, multi dimensions of yourself. And I think for myself, it was really hard for me to step outside of just ballet and just being defined as that, and defining myself as that. And I think the liberation came more than anything when I got tired of myself.
Hmm.
So when I decided I was sick of my patterns and my unhealthy habits in sense of thought process, and even
Ah, shit. Uh, for people listening, the video just cut, or the video slash audio just cut, but hopefully she'll be back soon because she was on a good one. All right, so you were just talking about your unhealthy patterns and you recognizing that, and you got tired of yourself, and then that's how you got on that path.
yeah. So basically, I know people say like, oh, it really starts when you're fed up with yourself. And I absolutely believe that to be true, and I think more than anything, I changed the conversation with myself to myself. So instead of, the way that I really, really embodied it was, if I wouldn't speak to my a loved one like this, I shouldn't speak to myself like that. If I could forgive someone else so easily, I should be able to forgive myself so much easier, you know? And in doing that, I feel like in having patience with yourself, it allows you to have patience with everyone around you. And in that, fruition just all the way around.
Hmm. Did something like spark? I mean, obviously you just said you got tired of yourself, but was there like a particular day that you remember where like you hit rock bottom or something, or was it just kind of progressive? Or
Well, to be completely honest with you, I was in a long-term relationship for about 2, 3 years, and I found myself really unhappy at the end of it. And, I decided that it just wasn't for me anymore. So I decided, to end it. And in ending it, it was a lot of self reflection, in the sense of being able to say, I did this right and I did this wrong, and being able to own up to it and accept it and say, now I know better. Now I can do better. So I feel like that definitely, like, despite the fact that it ended, I'm grateful for it because it truly, truly changed me overall and in a better way.
Okay. And then I know you said earlier that you like to meet new people. People are a product of their environment. Did you kind of change the people that you surrounded yourself also on this path of like recovery or enlightenment, or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, to be completely honest with you, when you start to change the conversation with yourself and you start to emulate it, the people around you will either keep you in that box, like how we have said, there's multiple dimensions of yourself. Some people don't like that there's more than that to you. So they will try to keep you there. But at the same time, in you progressing, whatever needs to come with you comes with you. And whoever needs to fall away naturally does. And
Mm.
it wasn't, I feel like for me, it wasn't that, I decided to exactly change my environment, more so like that too, but more so in myself. And in that change, everything else just happened to change too. And
So it
it's,
was a pretty effortless process then, in a way, I
yes
mean,
and no,
effort. I'm saying effortless in the sense the way that you're saying, like the things around you kind of naturally change. Like, of course, there's some conscious effort that you put to reflect, and I don't know exactly what you did, but obviously
yeah,
there's effort. But there was a certain naturalness that came with it. Almost seamlessly, some of it happened, right? Okay.
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's like, how they say, like, you are your energy and you are what you attract. I can definitely say that that was true in my instance. That as soon as I started to be nicer to myself, I started to have people who would gravitate to me that were.
Ah, shit. So she dropped out again. Everybody listening. God, this is so great. But this is okay too. So you just said about the energy that you had around you, and then things start to gravitate.
Yeah. So I just feel like, it's just all about you. Like as selfish as it may sound, I think that in finding that peace within yourself, you're able to share that peace with other people. And that's beautiful.
Okay. I'm just curious, and like, if I were make you, if you don't want to answer certain things, like, feel like it's totally fine. But I'm just curious, like, was there journaling involved? Was there moments like where you practice certain affirmations? Did you have some type of like routine that you developed during that time, like on a personal
Y-
level?
Yeah, absolutely. So like how you would see me in that vacation that we had gone on, I made it a point to put myself first. So in the sense of, when I wake up every morning, does what does Melissa need? What do I need? Do I need a glass of water? Do I need to stretch? Do I need to have a run? Do I need to meditate? Do I need to read? Do I need to watch something? Do I need to practice affirmations? Some affirmations that I would practice for myself. One more than anything was just like, no matter what happens, you'll be okay and you will get through it and you will flourish.
Okay.
And it just proved to be true.
Hmm. That is really cool. Um, would you say that this is something that I like commonly bring up? Just because I guess I have an interest in it, but like in terms of like faith, or if you want to call it spirituality, or like something macro, people, God, the universe, nature, like, do you have something of that sort that gives you like comfort at a macro level? Like, if you know what I'm saying, like, do you have, I don't know if you're religious, I don't know if like how you would define yourself in that.
Yeah, so I was raised very Catholic.
Okay.
And yeah, so I was founded on those morals and values more than anything. But as I grew up, I feel like I grew out of that and more into spirituality and your own relationship with source or whoever you feel is divine. I like to just say creator, just because it's like, we could, I feel like it's just an even playing field there. But I think that once you listen to the signs of the universe and like creator and stuff and just really go in, and see what is life trying to really tell you, because if you listen, it will talk to you. You'll see the symbolism, you'll see the things that work out for you that just maybe shouldn't have worked out, but they do. And there's a reason for that. I just feel like, um, if you pay attention, the signs are there. And I think more than anything, like I wouldn't call myself very religious. I would call myself more spiritual, just because I'm very intuitive in the sense of being able to meet people and feel them and feel where they are. And a lot of times I feel like I can feel their struggles, and being an empath is too, and being able to be like, oh, you know what, I've seen that in myself. I've seen that struggle in you and myself. And because of that, I'm able to be empathetic or pick and choose what I want to be around.
Okay, what are you feeling from me right now?
Right now, well, I mean, well, it's like when I first met you. Like when I first met you, it just felt like positive energy, just very open, very fluid too, in the sense of just like, I don't know, like when you meet people, you can feel the conversation they have with themselves. And sometimes being around people who don't have good conversations with themselves is draining, you know? And when you meet somebody who doesn't have a bad conversation with themselves because they've done the work, it makes you naturally just gravitate, and you're like, you know what? We've shared part of the same human experience in that sense. So like I've just felt that from you. I just felt like a kind of intuitive, with you and your brother. Like it was just very open in the sense of like, we may have just met, but I can tell that you're a good person. Like I don't have to know you well enough or deeply to know that you are a good person who's done the work.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, definitely.
I say let's just go into that Q&A thing I told you about. So just to build context for listeners, I've never really done this before, but just made it up and I think it sounds kind of fun. So basically we're gonna go, I don't know, I'm gonna start a 10-minute timer, but it could be, we'll just kind of go with the flow. But basically it'll be like a Q&A where talking about intuitiveness, this is gonna be fast, so it'll have to be intuitive. I'm gonna
Okay.
ask Melissa a question, then she's gonna respond as quickly as she can, and then she's gonna ask me a question, and then we'll just kind of play with that for a little bit.
Okay.
Melissa, what's your middle name?
Monique. What's your middle name?
Anthony. Where'd you get that shirt?
I got it. Actually, I got it on the Cobianboutique.com, but it doesn't exist anymore.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
What were you doing before this?
I was setting up the podcast. What does your necklace say? Oh, it says your name. Never mind. New question.
Yeah.
How much is that thing worth?
I think $1,500.
All right. How much is it worth to you? Like, like not money wise, but
I could, oh my goodness. It's priceless. Absolutely
priceless.
priceless. I've had this forever.
All right.
Do you own any jewelry?
I do. My dad gave me a golden necklace with the Jesus Christ thing on it. And I think it's like 24K. And I don't wear it. It's just in a box.
Oh, wow.
Because it's
You should wear
super,
that.
it's expensive though. I'm like, it's because it's 24K, like it's super like fragile. If you've ever felt gold like
Yeah,
that, I don't know.
the soft
I'll
gold.
probably keep it for sure. Maybe one day I'll start wearing it.
There you go.
If I'm ever wearing it during a podcast, you're gonna be like, I know that
I'm
necklace.
gonna be like, that one. That's the one he was talking about.
Let's see. How much does it cost to do like all your hair stuff and nail stuff, or I don't know, how much do you invest every month on like self-care products? That's the question.
Okay, let's see.
Self-care products, so like beauty products, whatever you want to call it.
Roughly, yeah. Like me personally, honestly, it's not much.
Oh, okay.
Just because I don't think I'm a high maintenance person. I might, but I think it's about like maybe $200.
$200. All right. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
When's the last time you got a haircut?
That was about 2 to 3 weeks ago. I cut it at my aunt's house, and my aunt cuts hair, and she's cut my hair, not like all the time, but she's cut my hair since I was a little boy. And so she
Oh
cut my
wow,
hair about 2, 3 weeks ago.
that's cool.
Um, what is your favorite social media platform?
My favorite social media platform to post on is Instagram. My favorite platform to just, have social media is Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What about you? What's your favorite social media?
Ah, man. I'm honestly, this is something that's been reoccurring with me, but I usually say like I don't have a favorite for anything. But if we were to say favorite is what I use most often, then it would probably be Instagram. What do I enjoy the most? Yeah, it might be Instagram because now with the
Yeah.
reels and yeah, Instagram's probably my favorite just because it's like that's kind of where like everybody's at, you know?
Yeah, the reels honestly have made it a lot more interactive too. Just like, dude, I'll catch myself watching like five or six, and I'm like, what? I was just watching one video.
Do you just like get into that? Like you're almost not being, I mean, you could say brainwashed, but it's almost like you're like, oh shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that algorithm, man. You're getting me. It's almost as bad as TikTok.
Whose turn is it? Is it mine? Oh, it's your turn now, right?
It's my turn. What was your favorite thing that we did on the Rosarito trip?
Oh man, let's see. Intuitive. I'm thinking of the water. I'm thinking of when
Fun.
there was a moment for everybody listening. There was a moment where like everybody left. My brother was terribly sick because had a little too much to drink, and then it was just me, my brother, and my cousin Trevor. And when we were in that house by ourselves, all right, Melissa got cut off. She's coming back. But while we were in that house by ourselves, that was probably the best time for me. Hold up. She's coming back on. She's coming back on. She's coming back on. All right, now you're back.
Yeah.
So when we had the house to ourselves, that was probably, I don't know, intuitively I'm thinking was like my favorite part because I'm just like a solo kind of person to begin with. So when I
Oh
had
yeah.
the whole house to myself, my brother was asleep and then Trevor was doing his own shit. Like there was something super cool about being in that backyard and just looking at the ocean because for everybody listening, it was a house right by the ocean. And like that was fucking cool. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that honestly that venue, I mean, not venue, but that place was so beautiful. Like we were so lucky to have the little private beach too.
Yeah, that was awesome. What's your favorite stretch?
My favorite stretch, honestly, it's gonna sound funny because I don't feel like it's literally nothing, but I just like to stretch my back out.
What do you mean?
Like it's called like a tabletop. So you
Okay.
just make your back super flat and it's almost like when you touch your toes, but you just put your hands on something instead.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're gonna. I don't know. I don't even know what that looks like, but okay. I was gonna say send a picture, but that doesn't even make sense. You can go ahead.
It's like
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead if you can do it.
it's just like that.
Oh, that one. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. That's a good stretch. It's for like your back and your lats, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Um, what else? What can I say? Um, where's Marlo?
Marlo?
Yeah,
Marlone?
yeah, Marlo.
My brother.
Marlon. Mar.
I think he's actually at work right now. I think he gets up at 4:30.
Oh, cool.
He usually doesn't work on the weekends, but this weekend he is.
Oh, tell him I said hi.
Uh, I will. I will. I'm gonna say let's move on to the next part, which is humanity talk. So people listening, I just made this whole thing up. So anyways, humanity talk. Me and Melissa are gonna talk about humanity, how we feel about humanity. So Melissa, how do you feel about humanity? Like just humanity.
Humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, in the state of the world right now, it feels kind of crazy, you know. So
Yeah.
it's just a little difficult to, I mean, I don't want to say like restore faith in humanity because I know there's good people and there are good things. It just feels like there's a lot of bad things going on right now. But I think I think that it's more than anything ego, you know? I think a lot of things right now that are going on are a lot of things that are ego based, which is hard to be human when you have ego, you know? It's hard to connect as human beings. I think it's a little clouded right now for humanity. But I mean, again, there's good people who do good things, and I feel like that's what restores humanity and the faith in it.
How like I mean, I don't know how much you're into history, but like do you feel like it's always been this way with like the human race or is this a like a unique time or how do you feel about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like cuz I've been contemplating that lately.
Yeah, honestly, I would say so, just because like, to be honest, to be real with you, I feel like technology just like clouded people immensely, in the sense of how is it that you're on we used to be like on our phone to get away, and now it's the opposite. Now we go to real life to try to get away off our phones.
Oh, you're right.
And I feel like that says a lot. Like, 10 years ago, when I had first started, like high school, I know that social media wasn't a big thing, and it wasn't really like predominant yet. I remember still having interactions with my friends and not posting it, and we were about statuses maybe, but they weren't really, it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. And now it feels like it's just like, are you really anybody if you don't post on the internet? Did you
Huh.
really do it if you don't post it? And it's like, yeah, you did. That's the human experience right there. You
Yeah.
should document things, but you don't have to document everything to let everyone
Huh. Yeah, this is a conversation that I've had with my brother. And he says that like we as humans are going through the evolution of the mind. That's what he says. And when I think about that, it makes me think about the internet, it makes me think about social media and how technology is making everything so fast. I mean, everything's so accessible and it's so fast. I can get my phone right now, go on Postmates and order pretty much anything from anywhere. Postmates delivers everything. I can go on social media and communicate with literally thousands, if not millions of people, like if I had that many followers. Um, like it's just everything's going by so fast. I think most humans, for whatever reason, I don't think we're aware enough to handle something so strong and powerful like the internet. That's what I think about, because I had to take time away from the internet. And now when I come back on it, I'm much more conscious of how I use it. And because of that, now I'm having like a much more positive experience with social media. And just to give example or some context for what I just said, when I go on social media, like I usually, the first thing that comes up on my feed, I usually interact with that piece, because usually it's going to be a friend or like something that I like, because everything I follow I tend to like to a certain degree.
know.
And so I won't have to swipe that much. Also, what I've done is like with stories like Instagram, like I'll look at who's posted a story and then I'll decide which one I want to click, versus just clicking through every single one just kind of mindlessly the way I would have done it before. Um, and then also it's just like, oh, I can just search something. I don't have to go on there to just swipe. I can actually search something up and like do research or homework, because social media is so, honestly, one of the cool things about it is that you can find almost anything that you're interested in,
Hmm.
whether it's stretching, yoga, ballet, like hip hop, like, whatever you want to find, like you can find it on there. Um,
Yeah, I would say that, okay, um, so I think that we talked about environment earlier, and in the sense of like environment, in growth, you have to unlearn. I think that in stepping away from social media, it allows you to reconstruct your mind in the sense of what is priority and what is not. And with that, you're more mindful in what you do and how you do it. Because I would agree too. I'm the exact same way. I don't look at everyone's story. I look at who I feel is of value to me, to be honest with you. And not even value like, oh, can I get something out of this? Like, no, value as in, I love what you're doing as a person. I love your passions. I love what you stand for, your message, whatever you are. And I'm gonna give you the support that I feel like you deserve. Like, I want to support you. Let me watch that story. Let me like that post. Let me share that post, but I will not do that for something that I don't feel mindful about, you know?
did
So
you
like I really respect that too.
Did you at any point take away time from social media, or how's your experience been with social media?
Personally, yeah, I'm honestly almost never on social media. I'm on YouTube because I like to watch videos, but social media wise, like I don't go out of my way to interact with anyone. I don't go out of my way to look for things, I mean, if they come to me, then they come to me, and I feel like that's a sign in itself, but I definitely am more like, take a step back, let me see what I'm actually liking. If I like a post, it's because I actually like it, not just because of XYZ. But I think that that's like that's what gives you value. That's like a self-respect kind of a thing, not giving away your power so easily, just being like, I know what I like and I know what I don't, and if you're about it, then I'm going to be about it too.
Yeah, because that something that I'm realizing for myself. Because now something that I do. I practice to not be needy, right? Because for
Yeah.
such a long time, it was like I just wanted so much. I mean, personal ambitions. I was a runner for such a long time.
Hmm.
Wanting to get more money or prepping for a test or like, I was always prepping for like the next thing or like trying to get the next thing. And then when it came to money or a lot of material things, like I was fairly stingy with my shit. And I've said this now out loud quite a few times, but that's how I was for like 23 years of my life. Up until like recently, I feel like I've practiced to let go of that just because I've been basically determined to just be happy. Um,
See, so
uh,
so I would say that's a whole, like, that's you literally reconstructing your mind, though. You just said
yeah,
23 years that you did that, and what you've got tired of yourself and changed your thinking, and look at the fruition.
yeah, dude. I was just like, oh yeah,
Proud of
yeah,
that
yeah.
inner
Okay.
work.
Huh? Oh yeah, the reason I started saying all that shit was because now that I practice to not be needy, like I'll meditate or I'll just pause or I'll basically slow stuff down. And a lot of times I'll catch myself, I'm like, I don't need this. I am going to make my mom breakfast. I am going to go outside and like water the plants. Let me make my bed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of doing the needy thing of like, oh man, I need to post this shit on social media right now, like let me
Hmm.
let go of that, like needing it, and let me actually do what I do need to do because I believe that whatever I really do need right now, like it's intuitive. It shouldn't feel like I'm trying to hold on to it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
you're living more in the present and more in the moment. And it sounds like, how I said, when I wake up, I'm like, what is it that I need? Sounds like you're starting to do the same, or that you have. Like, what can I do to live in gratitude? More than anything, for me, that's what I've learned, that you're the happiest when you live in gratitude, in the sense of, I'm grateful for waking up, I'm grateful for being able to, even on the bad days, I'm grateful to even have a bad day, because you got to have the bad days to have the good days, you know
Damn. The yin and the yang.
hmm You can't expect it to all be good, and you can't expect it to all be bad. You know, um, you got to be grateful, gratitude.
Hmm. Where does your gratitude stem from?
Um, to be completely honest with you, I feel like my gratitude stems from my grandfather. My grandfather was a very mindful man, and he was a very loving man. And more than anything, he loved his family. And because of that, I think that I'm able to emulate that. I'm emulate the love that he gave me, and in loving myself and being able to do that with others.
Okay. That's pretty tight. um how about we move on to the last question, which
Okay.
is what would be your message if you could communicate to the entire human race, like every damn country, every human on this planet, and everybody
I
could
could,
understand you, what would you say?
if I could communicate one message, I think more than anything, it would be to just be kind. Be kind to yourself, be kind to each other. Just be kind, because you never know. And not even like, you never know what someone's going through. Like, yeah, that too, but what does it cost you to be kind? And it takes more to be kind than it does to be angry. Anger is a cop out feeling. What is anger? It's actually sadness. It's actually disappointment. It's actually, any ill feelings. So it's like, if you have the courage to be kind after life has not been kind to you, that says a lot about you. You're a person I want to get to know. So I would just say, be kind.
All right, I love the simplicity. um Thank you, Melissa, for joining. We'll still, if you're cool with it, continue to talk once we're done recording this.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. Let me know
Yeah.
what
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Yeah, no problem, Melissa. People who are listening, let me know what you thought about this kind of style, this format. Melissa, real quick, what did you think about that? You started off with the context, then the Q&A, and then the humanity. How did you feel about that?
Honestly, I think it was a really good flow. I think it was
Okay.
a good flow in the sense of like, you get to know me a little bit, and then you get to talk a little bit about, Q&A, or sorry, a little bit about humanity. And then we go into a Q&A. It's a little fun. And then we end off with something that's like light and easy, like that felt good. I think you should do that again.
Okay. All right. Melissa's the first feedback I got. All right. Love you guys.
So, all right, bye.